place that is not connected at all. Like if you're living in BFE and you're making your art about BFE and that's what gets you successful, why the hell would I move to Los Angeles? What am I going to write about? Sunset Boulevard? Like, I don't.
Been done.
Many have tried.
What do I have to say about that? So I'm like, let me stay at home where the inspiration, like, why would I leave the well? I need to stay by it if I want to continue drinking and having this inspiration. So I'm like, I love the South. I love where I grew up, just the landscape itself, you know, the people. I'm like, I want to walk into the grocery store barefoot and not have people look at me funny. I'm like, that is what I want. That's
Erewhon,
what I
you can't
grew
do
up.
that. I bet there's some
There's
barefoot
probably
in Erewhon
a
at this point.
site. Yeah. And I hope we never. I hope we never have to use this. Hope we never have to resurface this clip like 10 years from now.
When you're in a penthouse,
fully huge house in the Hollywood Hills, and we'll be like, "Do you remember in 2025?" Which have a little. But I also want to say, and like, Lord knows, as the New Yorker on this in this triumvirate, I'm the last person that should be saying this, but like, the amount of cultural clash that can happen outside of a major urban center, that is where the productive friction that makes fascinating pop culture comes from. And so many people, I think, who come from those backgrounds are so eager to run away from those backgrounds, thinking that there's more elsewhere.
Yeah.
But I know myself, some of our best interviews and trips and people that we are the most excited about come inspired by we get on a plane and we go to who the hell knows where, the Florida border, Nebraska, Vermont, you know, like who knows where.
Nebraska.
This is where the action is.
Yeah.
That's where, and it's because
that's where shit's going down.
And that's because the rules are fuzzier in those places.
Yeah.
And so people can make more, dare I say, productive mistakes sometimes.
And then you roll up like a Beverly Hillbilly and everybody goes, what the hell is that?
It's also, I think the culture clash that John's referring to, like you both fit in, but also you stand out in those places. Yeah. And I think that tension
But
is
I want more of
important
that.
too.
I'm like, people, like, I honestly thought when I entered this industry that more people were going to have a similar story of like, oh yeah, I come from whatever, and then I came here, but it's like,
no, they just went to private school.
Yeah,
and
they just
have
their
parents worked in the industry.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, y'all, so y'all don't,
no,
okay.
No.
But what about the business impulses that then become more present here? Because it seems like after the success of Preacher's Daughter, you toured it a lot. I'm sure you sold a lot of vinyl. You know, your Spotify numbers are like quite high for somebody that makes the kind of music that you do. And then it seems like maybe you tried to scare off some of the casuals with Perverts a little bit. And then with this new album, Will It Be Tucker, like it comes time to like, all right, you're probably going to want to tour again. You're probably going to want to get your balance back up. You have a record deal. How did those business impulses, you have a manager now, which you didn't when we first met. How did the realities of this becoming a career affect the art going into this album?
Talking again, continuing on from talking about you have to accept the public perception and whatever, you also have to accept when you make a business out of your passion, it is going to fundamentally forever change the way that you create. You can maybe find your way back, but it will not be the same. You only get one debut. Like I will never make a record the way that I made Preacher's Daughter, which has been heartbreaking over the past couple of years of realizing that, you know, Will It Be Tucker was a very different album process, a lot more frustration, a lot more heartbreak, a lot emptier. You know, I cried every day that I was finishing it because I just thought, will I ever love this again? This is the only thing I have ever truly, deeply, unequivocally loved in my whole life was telling stories and making music. And the fact that I feel nothing from making music right now, or for this portion, that was hard. That was a very difficult thing to grapple with because I thought the one thing that has kept me here my whole life when I did not want to be here for a long time, I don't feel anything for. I would sit there and whereas music used to flow out of me, I haven't really written music with the exception of like, you know, making sure the track list is full since Preacher's Daughter came out. You know, the last
a lot of these songs are old and predate even Preacher's Daughter.
And so it was.
It's emotional exhaustion. It's
lack of purity.
But it's also
now it's become commerce.
The knowledge of the commerce has. And whereas I've been able to keep the public opinion out, I don't care what music people want from me. I really don't care what genre you want to see me do. It's like, if I want to make, I did the swing from like, I'm going to make pop, and then, oh, I hate pop, I'm going to make drone. And then everybody's like, oh, wow, thank God I hated her pop shit. I'm like, okay, both of y'all, like, I can do everything. I can do whatever I want. I can do whatever I want. And so now that that's all out of the way, and I don't, I'm not really worried what music people want from me, but it's still like, this is a business. This is what funds my life. I do not want to have to go back to working a day job like I did for so many years to fund the music. This is my livelihood. This is something that I've built that I cannot easily walk backwards out of. So I do have to find the compromise of, we put out an album, I tour it, I make a pop song or two, I do this, I enjoy that. But then I love drone music. I will make an 1.5 hour long drone album, put just as much love into it, feel just as much passion for it. This is the spectrum of what my career will look like. I will put out records that will be more commercially viable, whatever that means for me. The songs are still 8 minutes long.
Or 15.
Or 15. Yeah. And then I will go do this. It's like, whatever I've really had to, in order to combat the emotional exhaustion and the frustrations with creating art, the main thing I've had to get back into is saying, if we're going to do this forever, we have to split the difference, and we have to know that whatever endeavor is desired up here, we have to chase it. If you want to make a pop song, go make the pop song. If you want to make a drone record, make the drone record. If you want to do something narrative, do narrative. If you want to write something that's personal from the heart, do that. I'm having to force myself to remember and get back into the mindset of, the reason this project succeeded with all of the song links and the genre bending and the whatever is because it was authentic, and because you chased every rabbit down every trail that you wanted. The only way that you could really fail personally is if you stop indulging and start only thinking about business. You have to do both at the same time. And as much as nobody wants to talk about, art is business, art is business. Art is business. Like, this is business. Unless I wanted to do it and never put a single thing out and hoard all of it in my house. But that's not what I'm doing. That's not what I've been doing. Like, I have to be real and say, we make good art first, and then we
sell it
later. But you have to make good art first. That is always the first stepping stone.
Process forward, not product backwards.
Yes, you can figure out how to sell anything later, but like, it has to be genuine, it has to be authentic, because people know when art does not come from the heart. People can't tell. They can hear. My own sister, she's like, sometimes I listen to some of the new songs you've written, and I can hear that, like,
you don't mean it.
You're vacant. I can hear, and she's like, It breaks my heart for you, because you've always been so deeply invested in everything you've ever made. And she's like, I hate that for you.
Do you feel like you found the balance finally on this new album?
This one was a learning curve.
It.
I do deeply love this album. I will always love everything I put out. If I don't love it truly, I won't put it out. It was hard. It was heartbreaking. It was hard to spend many years working on these songs thinking, I feel nothing. No new melodies are coming. No, I don't care to write the song. But I still gave it the patience and gave it the time. Because, I was supposed to finish this record 2 years ago. We were working on finishing and finalizing this record in March of 2023.
You played me Dust Bowl in 2022.
Yeah, I had half the record, and when I dusted this record off after Perverts was done, and I think January, when I dusted it off to say, all right, let's fix this and let's do it. Most of it was done. There were a couple songs I went to add, hated, scrapped. A couple songs I did wind up adding last minute, per usual. And, that it was tougher, but I